Here's somebody with a troubled past, drawn into the spotlight of a story that's already begun. We're already at a crossroads. Choosing a path in life is that fork in the road where you make a choice or simply stop living. But for you, it's not only a crossroad, but a choice. A reflection of your key, the primal energy that flows through everything.
I guess I'll go with...
Allow me to introduce myself. I'm the dark side of you. Your inner voice, to be precise. An echo of the balance and consequence of your actions as you move forward.
So glad you realize who you really are. Let's keep to the bright and better path moving on.
Ooh, that voice.
You can't contradict yourself like that. You made the right choice to begin with.
Because you can't deny what's deep within your heart. Sometimes a thought is just a thought. In the end, it's the way you act that counts.
But remember, this is just the beginning of the end. Eventually, it'll be my way or the highway.
Guess left can be right, sometimes.
So it seems like there's a couple combos that exist here.
Stories of death and the bodies left behind. A reminder that we're at the mercy of nature and the one that preys on others. Do you remember the beast that shattered your family? Or did you choose to forget? You turned your back on our world and got lost in your own. Meanwhile, the predator only grew stronger.
B is die. So you can dodge A and R2. Ooh. That's a pair. Okay. EX. Oh, that's a little glitchy.
Better make a run for it. This is not the time nor place to end this story.
Oh, so this is like the beginning of the first trailer right here. It looks like the auto aim and the targeting aim is kind of glitched here in the sense of shooting a gun. So you gotta kind of angle your, you gotta aim and angle your camera
This
at the
time,
same time.
it was best to run and live to fight another day. Let us hope you're ready for it when it comes. The the predator isn't the only threat. The wildlife started to mutate when the end of days began, and the tree of life started to die. Do.
If you add a weapon special effect add-on, attach it to your ranged weapon to give it an extra damage type for as long as the ammo lasts. Some enemies have resistance or weakness to a different weapon's special effects, so use them wisely. So this is a consumable. Okay, so it's a consumable. Oh, there's a map here. Bandages. Well, that's kind of neat.
The oil sludge is everywhere. To most, it only means death. But some have adapted to the new environment and changed with it. Evolution has its ways.
Carry. wonder if you can parry bullets. You can shoot the barrel out of his hand.
All fired up.
No idea what this stuff does. I'm assuming it's all linear pathing all the way through this. Carry shields, melee attacks. Wow, so we force them to be melee. melee is definitely very strong initially. I'm sure it changes as the game goes forward. They really made melee super powerful at the beginning and super weak in the very beginning. Just judging how this is playing out, it looks like you're supposed to go anyway.
Look, an emergency box from the once was. A rare sight.
I got a crowbar. In this section, you can change equipment and weapons. The circle icon represents a part of the body that can be geared up. With equipment found or bought from vendors, your favorites can be saved in the outputs menu. Offhand, mainhand. You can scrap the highlighted piece of gear for crafting matrices. What exactly did I get then? Outfits, inventory, souls. Oh, that's what I got. I got souls.
That pipe looks weak. The claw bar should come in handy. Whoa! It's time to find a way out of this place. No, really, I mean it.
Is the narrator my grasshopper? Is that what that is? Oh, rabbits. A and A again.
The morks produce biomatter in their multi-organ that they shed under distress. Blobs that affect the cellular coding strands of any living being when absorbed, including you. Flash the slash.
Leveled up. Mutations.
That's more like it.
So, I guess you have to get this in order. I think I'll wait for this one. force you to. I don't want to though. I don't want to. What do I have? I can't save points. That lame. Look at all this stuff in here. I have mutations, psi powers, and biogens and resistances. Use mouth ma, press the input you have. Bound the ability to while facing an enemy. This will infect any small number of humanoid enemy hits, while infected enemies will attack their allies instead of you. So this is confusion. To use Vile Bile, press down. You will have bound the ability, make it spew toxic slush in the direction you are facing, inflicting damage to all enemies. Okay. To use fungi, hold the input you have bound the ability to and release the input to confirm its placement. Jump on the fungi to bounce off it or put it under small enemies to bounce them around. Oh, that's cute. Rat Wisps. To use Rat Wisp, press down the input you have bound the ability to. It will unleash a particle in front of you that will inflict radioactive damage to all enemies in the particles. So it's like magic missile or whatever. To use Storm Hop, trigger the ability while airborne. You will smash into the ground, tremendous force damaging all enemies. Mucus Bubble, press the input you bound, jump to bounce. No, that's the bowl. That's the bubble thing we saw in the trailers. Mud Punch, input. No, it makes a fist, so it knocks him up in the air and you can target him. Turtle form is use sliding. Heat. Okay, that's cool. And the side powers are a different set.
Time to see what's above. Toxanol built vessels called arks to save themselves from the impending doom. But was it too late? It is only from the flight logs of the single ark they left behind that we know other arks traveled through the sky and beyond. It seems those that came before us never lost hope in finding a new home for their kind.
I found a puzzle. These are scattered around the world. Some open new paths, while others feature different rewards. To switch between the nodes LS. Left stick, left stick. To rotate the nodes RB or LB. It's the number of rotations you have left, the higher you are, the more moves you have. Each node has a certain position and must be rotated to complete the puzzle, running out of move sequences before that may have consequences. Okay, so where is my cursor? Okay, so the glowing light is. So I'm assuming you're supposed to hit RB here, and that one's already in position, and then RB again.
There are few records of the chain of events that led to the big apocalypse eons ago, but it's clear the world wasn't prepared for how recklessly the Toxanol Corporation would make its mark on the world. Their rare earth mining and nuclear industries generated tons of waste, and without consideration for the future, they dumped it all in landfills until they ran out of space. That's when they made the big mistake. They began dumping the toxic waste in the surf just off the coast instead, assuming that it would sink and decay with time. And they were right. But no one was prepared for what was about to unfold. Once in the surf, the radiation interfered with the genetics of the wildlife and created bizarre mutations in their offspring. It had an inconceivable impact on biodiversity and the entire ecosystem. The world as they knew it crumbled as nature retaliated. It would never be the same again, and what remained of it became ours.
Alright, so the year got polluted.
The sound of spark metal going pew-pew is never a good thing.
I like pew-pew.
It's coming from behind that door.
Okay.
A warning label. The box looks like a potential brain melt. It's going to take a bit of puzzling to short-circuit the door.
Oh, really? So, that looks right. So you rotate once and then...
There you go.
Will stun them. A stunned enemy has stars circling with their head after hitting them. And again, you can launch it up in the air by pressing LB.
The wheeled one is outnumbered. You'd better help him out. Scrap keeps piling up. That's the last of them. Let's talk to the wheeled one before
Not
backup
sure what
arrives.
the point of that was.
Someone will pay dearly for that.
Kobwa yak fabobe mok kofar.
He wants to thank you for taking his side against the scavengers. He sounds familiar. You just can't figure out why.
Yuba dolo wawa. Evunko to buvum.
He presents himself as out of date. He knows he's way overdue, but he hasn't given up.
Wumbobo debuko.
He doesn't seem surprised that you don't recognize him. You were just a child back then, the night everything changed.
Yuba dolo wawa. Guduvun poputore.
There have been rumors of a one-eyed Ronin seen outside the Great Wall, and he's happy to see it's true.
Ronan.
Cantita duela bofo.
The legend of the one-eyed child that grew up as an outcast is old and sad.
Loma toaha. Iatu yao mawa.
The child could have been anyone, but the evil it had fled had left a mark, a facial scar to remember the past.
Luatolo mawa.
How Lupa Lupin somehow left you alive after his raid on the old village. He must have had a purpose with that. The question is, what?
Nuekek ujbar no barke.
There's no doubt you're the child, and that what Lupa Lupin did to your village, your Muma and Popsy, was the beginning of the end.
Luatolu tum. Mpa wherefore where?
He says it has taken you a long time to bring the past back up to the present, to find your way back, but he's grateful you have.
To why?
It was after the attack that the unity fell apart. Your Muma's disciples divided and formed tribes as a reaction to the blight that had fallen upon the land.
To luaba volua. Luatolu tum.
After the old village was destroyed and you disappeared, a struggle between the families erupted, and over time, the disciples turned against each other.
Lotolu bayo yunulua tula.
Had it not been for the Tree of Life, no one would have survived. He hopes you at least remember the tree.
I must be in like modern day China, judging where this stuff is. Elvis. It is Elvis.
Asks if you are tired, as it's a bit of a hike here from the village. He wonders if your Muma knows you are here. Sounds like he thinks she does, despite your heart growing dark. There's nothing as powerful as a Muma's love. He understands why you came all the way out here, to see them, the potato people. The potato people, or Nono, are a wonder, somehow interlinked with this little tree here, fueling its source of life. Magic? He claims it's just the force of life, the existence of energy, powering and connecting all things living, like the Nono. The Nono prefer to hide in glitter grass. He says you should get over there and ruffle it. See if you can make one come out of hiding. You've found one. You should be proud. They don't come out for everyone. The Nono's key energy is just what the Pensai needs to complete its cycle and grow into a tree of life. The small tree you saw up there where you met will eventually grow into a tree of life and start giving back to nature. It'll be the heart of the land. You'll need to support the tree for a long time to come. The only way it'll grow tall is with the burst of ki released from the Nono as they become one with the tree. You'll need a net to catch the Nono, and he wants you to use his, but asks you to be gentle. The Nono are sensitive beings, an embodiment of ki, the primal energy. You handle that net like you've never done anything else. He's impressed. He's grateful for all the help he can get. There's lots of Nono out there that need to be guided to the roots of the Pensai tree. They're hiding in the glitter grass that mostly grows deep inside damp caves, where they draw mineral from the natural rock. One day, he hopes the tree will have grown tall enough to sustain the world. But today, your focus is getting this one to become one with the tree.
All right. It's kind of interesting that as a kid you have more ki energy than you do when you were first fighting these monsters in the very beginning of the game.
Now that you've seen the Nono's connection with the tree with your own eyes, you have no reason to doubt. From this day on, he'll make nurturing the Pensai into a tree of life, a life goal, not only for our village's sake, but for all of us, everyone. One day, the land won't be as peaceful. Not even your Muma will be able to protect us. You can already see the effects from how reckless those before us acted, and unless something changes, we're doomed. The land won't survive the side effects of the old world's industrial advances. He says you'd better hurry back to the village before your Muma comes looking for you. You did good here today. That's not true. She's the reason there's still unity, and the only one strong enough to keep the 6 Wang Fu disciples disciplined.
He
lost you there for a while, but no memory is alone. It's part of a trail you can follow. He says he remembers every single day he devoted to growing the Tree of Life, but now he's afraid it might be in vain. The tree started to die when the end of days begun, and it wasn't long after that that the World Eaters arrived.
Paluotoloa. Ronto kontua pon yevun goja.
Records tell of the ruinous devastation the Toxanol Corporation inflicted on the land. The apocalypse sparked a re-evolution, the Second Coming, and our lineage. His friend Gizmo is working on a Mekton and needs help defeating the Jumbo Puff at the end of the West Route. Wiz is still repairing his octopod to confront the Merc Puff that dwells deep down under the surface at the end of the Northwest Route. Noko has tamed the Midget and is preparing to take on the Hoof Puff at the end of the East Route. Finally, Goop is almost done with the Goo Glide, a machine able to ride the waves of the surf all the way out to the Porky Puff at the end of the route to the southeast.
Taimis ya yumawa.
Out of Date says his friends are gearing up to stop the World Eaters. There's one at the end of each route.
Ronto kontua pon yevun goja.
The road ahead won't be easy, but he's counting on your support. His friends aren't strong enough to end this on their own.
Auketo tul atu yamanau.
He wants you to understand that you'll all die if the tree isn't saved.
Auketo tul atu yamanau.
He claims names have power, so he gave them these names to weaken them. For him, the Porky Puff is particularly personal. It was that carnivorous beast that took his leg.
Oloi bobo paweg. Vaiketawa?
Regardless, you'll meet again once you've played your part in the tribe war and the situation with the World Eaters.
To wowu.
You're getting the hang of it. Quickest way out is through the roof where they came in, and the rope looks strong enough to climb. Know that the Tree of Life is dying. Its days are numbered. Without help, it can't endure the environmental change and assault from the World Eaters.
Alright, well, this is Biomutant. This seems to be the good spot to stop recording, and I'll come back to it in a little bit.